weed, and we talked about all the shit that we did when we were kids that nobody would ever let their kids do now. This is one of them. This is called Accept Loss Forever. Paul reminded me about the clear days of winter and the boys shimmying themselves up to the tippy tops of snow-covered cedar, grasping tight the thinning trunk with one hand and shielding eyes from the sun with the other, balancing carefully in hand-me-down snow boots, surveying the land and all its surroundings like a Columbus laying claim to discovery of unseen before rooftops, sucking in deep, crisp breaths and unfolding arms wide and stretched like heavy-winged things, exhaling upon the let-go of toe tips from treetop, launching their souls into the cold air, trusting the soft white blankets of branches to cradle their fall, to embrace their descent, tiny angel boys leaping one by one into the blue, soaring through the bright frozen sky. So this is the poem that won the Pat Schneider second annual poetry contest, in which I was very honored. I won money. It was awesome. I still haven't spent it. It's in the bank. And my adopted dad was umpteenth generation millwright. My family's blue collar, union, maple, all that stuff. And this one's called My Father the Sawmill. My father is sawdust, cedar bough, and chainsaw grease. He smells like a Christmas tree every day. He is melted snow soaked wet under the bones of a worn-out Levi jacket, mink oil trapped inside the creases of freshly polished steel-toed work boots, new leather shoelaces, and the damp ash of a Marlboro tossed into a rain puddle that he didn't get a chance to finish on the break. He is betadine, rubbing alcohol, Bengay, the hot plastic of a heating pad set on high, and old blood dried on Band-Aids left scattered on top of the bathroom sink. On weekends, he is Aqua Velva or Old Spice, Lava hand soap, Barbasol shaving cream, Black Folgers coffee, and still Budweiser left out overnight, opened and unfinished on an end table in the living room. He is 1040 weight oil, acetylene gas, barbecue lighter fluid, wood glue, rubber cement, and kindling pitch mixed with turpentine. He is a purple Welch's grape juice in a tiny communion glass, musty hymnal pages, and mothballs shoved deep down inside the pocket of an old blue dress jacket. Mostly, though, he is an ashtray of spent cigarettes mixed with fresh pencil shavings, the remnants of a dream house sketched over and over and over again on an old pad of blue gritted paper underneath a thin and brittle lead. Okay. All right. This one is called Tell Me What You Know About the Stars. They were easier to see up there in the clean air above our house, above the sawmill and the hills, above the lake and the dam, above the mountains. Faced up in sleeping bags, my brother and I poked heads out from an unzipped tent, followed with our eyes the trails of drift from a dying campfire, up and over the tall pines that stood dark and triangular over us. Big Dipper, Little Dipper, Orion's Belt, my father knew them all. Would trace over them in the blue-black sky with the tip of a lit cigarette. My brother was always the first to see the shapes, to shout their names and claim them. But honestly, I just played along, faked excitement of discovery, too embarrassed to admit that each star disappeared, recoiled into the vastness when I stared directly at it. The sky, to me, a blank, except for the faint moving glow of an amber speck, my father's hand connecting the invisible dots of the universe together. I don't know which one to read. My people that are here, where are you? Can I hear them? Okay, this is one that's also put to music. Come see us play December 6th. We got doo-wop singers in the back of this one. This is, okay, my adopted mom was crazy. That's all you need to know about this one. All right. This one is called Elvis is My Bebop Daddy, Part 1. To say she was fucking crazy doesn't paint a vivid enough picture. She was, to be more precise, a bipolar, manic-depressed, agoraphobic, anxiety-ridden, obsessive-compulsive, mean-spirited, nasty, spiteful, lying, unforgiving, pill-popping, chain-smoking, rage-flying, cold-hearted, distant, schizophrenic, suspicious, paranoid, sugar junkie bitch. But she never killed anybody, or set off bombs, or stymied a cure for cancer, and she really loved babies and small animals. So to call her a horrible person might not be fair. So maybe we'll just let it stand for now, and it can be enough for you to know that she was just simply fucking crazy. My mom had her own wonderfully vivid and unique time-space continuum that always journeyed back to the rock and roll period of the 50s and 60s, or as I like to call it, her Dick Clark era. And her favorite celebrity was a dead celebrity. Death by plane crash, death by assassination, death by jealous lover, or some other more horrific event, even better. Her recollections were magnificent, and her sorrows ran mournfully deep. Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, The Big Bopper, Patsy Cline, the graphic stories of their demise woven into my childhood, just as thick and thorough as the car crash death of her own teenage cousin when they were in high school, in which she especially dwelled upon and liked to emphasize on how the surviving sister used to be a twin. Lana Turner's boyfriend, killed by her own daughter. James Dean, car crash. Marilyn Monroe, who knows. Jane Mansfield, both Kennedys, and even Oswald. Stories told to me so many times. Newspaper clippings dragged out of scrapbooks, collectible magazines, limited edition ashtrays, commemorative wall hanging plates, and an obsession of collecting 50-cent pieces that ran so deep that to this day I can't hold one in my hand without thinking about what it would feel like to take a bullet to the brain. I was fascinated with her stories, held them as my truths. They make up my family as much as any dead twin cousin. Our tree grafted with baffling branches gnarled like a train wreck around the grotesque, the gruesome, the grandiose, and mostly the tragically famous. But at the top of that list was her schoolgirl crush, her Prince Charming, her knight in shining armor, the one she had pictured in her head when her 15-year-old self practiced French kissing in the mirror. The one she shushed every voice in the house quiet when his crooned over the radio, and snapped photos of his televised image with a little 110 camera as though he was performing for her in the flesh, shooting twice for each shot, one with flash, one without, just to cover her bases. And, according to my father, the only man she ever really, truly loved. Her world, as frighteningly small as it was, gasped loudly, spun backwards, and tumbled clumsily off its axis the day Elvis Presley died. To be continued.
Thank you.